Cześć, z tej strony Hubert i witam Was bardzo serdecznie w nowym formacie na kanale Pełna Kulturka. Będzie to wywiad, czy jak to woli po prostu rozmowa, a moim gościem całkiem niedawno, bo 27 października był Lauri Ylönen, czyli wokalista legendarnego rockowego zespołu z Finlandii, zespołu Rasmus. Z twórcą przebojów takich jak In the Shadows czy Living in a World Without You porozmawiałem o tym, jak napisać hit, o występie na tegorocznej Eurowizji, scenie muzyki rockowej w Finlandii oraz o najnowszej płycie Rasmus Rise. Was zachęcam do zostawienia komentarza, z kim chcielibyście zobaczyć wywiad na Pełnej Kulturce w przyszłości i do obejrzenia tej niesamowicie ciekawej konwersacji, jaką miałem przyjemność odbyć.
I will. Here you go.
So, you're on tour in Europe right now. How is the tour so far?
Oh, great! Feels so good to be back on the tour. You know, after COVID and all the difficulties we had to face recently, it feels like luxury. I love it. Right now we are in Germany, in Cologne, and we have a full house tonight. It's a really good feeling. We have a new guitarist with us. She's been with us for a year now, and these are the first like club shows we play with her. It's been really on fire every night.
Do you feel like some kind of fresh? After she joined the band?
Yeah, it really is like a new beginning for us in some way. You know, Empu has brought a lot of new energy and new views and like new visions and creativity to this group. And also when she's a girl, I mean, we don't really recognize gender in this world, but it's still, she kind of brings nice balance to this group. And she's a very great guitarist, but also she's a very interesting personality. And I think she fits the band perfectly. She's really one of the guys.
Yeah, I think that's great. Which shows were the best so far on the tour? Can you tell?
Well, for me, it's nice to play the new songs, of course, because they feel very exciting and I think from the new songs, one of my favorites is a song called Fireflies. Then from the old songs, we played something from each album, tried to play a little bit like through the history. So I enjoyed playing a cover version we did in '96 from a movie Ghostbusters. And this is a great number live, you know, it's like, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters, and like people shouting like crazy, and it's like a positive vibe. Yeah, it's great.
Okay, you told me about new songs, but I was asking about shows, but that's totally fine.
Oh, sorry.
Which shows were the best so far, if you can tell? Maybe in Poland?
I heard you wrong. Poland was great. Two shows, both sold out in Warsaw and in Krakow. And that is amazing. Like, it seems like we have so many fans in Poland that we should come back very soon. Because a lot of people were asking, like, they left out and they couldn't get in for these shows. So it's a good country for us to be touring. We had really good shows there, but also I really liked the show in Prague. In Milan was great. So you never know when the great show is going to happen. I think every night is good, but sometimes it's magical. And that's really, it's really about the people. It is really about the mood of the audience, because I really read the audience carefully. Like I try to suck all the energy from the people, and that makes me be better on stage and have more strength and, you know, adrenaline and more crazy show. So it's like we do the show together with the fans.
Right. What are the plans after the tour? Because this year was really hard for you, I guess. Maybe not hard, but a lot of work. The Eurovision, the album, the tour, and you're probably gonna rest for the rest of the year. But next year, will there be more shows, some festivals or something, or you'll be resting?
Oh yeah, we try to play as much as possible next year. Playing more tours. We are now looking at Latin American shows. A lot of fans in Mexico always go there. Hopefully, do many more shows in Europe, then festivals, obviously, and that kind of stuff. But also, we're not resting at all because we are actually going to studio and writing new songs for the next album already. So it's like we want to keep the wheel spinning because now it seems like we have all this new energy with the new lineup and everything. So it feels like it's good time to create new music. And I've been like this morning all day playing guitar and writing new stuff, and it's always very creative to be on tour because we meet the fans. We have this thing like a meet and greet uh, before the show, and like just talking to the fans, hearing their favorite songs, their stories, how they discovered our band a long time ago, and all that kind of puts me in the mood of songwriting, and that's great.
Yeah, great. When I think about the Rasmus, I think hit songs, number ones like In the Shadows. Your songs, your singles were very popular in Poland. They're still playing in the radio stations. And I think you're the right person who can tell me how to make a hit, how to write a number one song, because I think if somebody knows the secret, it could be you and the Rasmus.
If I only knew. I've I've been lucky to have few hits, but it is it is always different. Like there's no recipe that you can repeat one thing and do it again because there's so many aspects to it and so many different things that make a hit. But if I think of In the Shadows, for example, I think it was a very unique song. It has a very like it doesn't sound like anything. It's pretty original, and then it is a little bit sad, but also it's a little bit positive. At the same time, there's like
Yeah, energy.
uplifting energy, and it's like party song, but it's still kind of melancholic. That combination, maybe. And then also when that song came out, there was this kind of wave of this maybe gothic pop or something like bands like Evanescence or you know bands like that. So this was like just the right timing for that kind of a song.
Yeah, I think you do it great because you always get melancholic lyrics, and the music is so energetic, and I think it's a pretty great combination.
Thank you.
Do you like playing In the Shadows live after all these years, or it's sometimes boring or something?
Yeah, it's sorry about the sound. I'm
No,
here.
that's fine. I can hear you well.
I was trying to look for a quiet place, but they're drilling stuff and making all this noise.
That's fine.
Yeah, I like to play In the Shadows. I haven't got bored with that song. I think it's a wacky song. There's a lot to play. There's a lot to sing. It's like it's pretty special, and also the reaction of the crowd is always massive. Every night. That is kind of the highlights of the show still. So I don't mind.
Great. So let's talk now a little bit about this album, about your new record, Rise. I think it's a really balanced album. And I'm curious, there's some energy boosters like bangers like Live and Never Die, Rise, and Jezebel, of course. But there are also a lot of calm songs. And I wonder if that was your idea for this album, to be balanced.
Well, in a way, yes, because we started the process more than 3 years ago, and we had a very happy beginning for things. We were going to studio and we were gonna do this and that together, and and then COVID happened and everything was taken away from us, and life got really difficult and scary too. It was, for a long time, it was uncertain what it is and like how many people will die more, and it was scary. But all those things were reflecting the fact that we were trying to make this album, and we were actually living in different cities. I live in Hawaii, Eero lives in Australia, guys in Finland. So we were stuck in different continents and trying to work this album like online, basically. It was very difficult, but we got some good stuff done. Though it was very slow and frustrating a lot of the times. But some of the moods are actually good because we were so unhappy and we were so scared and confused that somehow some of it was good for the art. So I can't say I'm happy, but now that it's over, I feel it's good because it was another creative wave that came along with COVID. So, and then we wanted to write more songs when Empu joined the band because she brought us new good vibes and this new energy. So we wrote a couple of more songs which were more happy, I guess, or more like uplifting. And those were Jezebel, Rise, and Live and Never Die. So that kind of tells the story of the band almost breaking up and then finding our way back to the scene. And we are in a good place because we feel very good. We're having a lot of fun. I think Empu brought back the joy of playing together to this band. And the gigs have been fantastic, full of energy and power. And sometimes you realize almost too late what you have before it's gone. So I think it's very human that this happens, and that what's kind of happened to us too.
Your favorite song from the album, Fireflies, or maybe?
Yeah, like Fireflies, that's been great to play live. I like a song called Odyssey. It's a quiet one, but it feels very like personal somehow. It's about my relative. And yeah, I'm liking the album. It brings me brings back a lot of memories, and not all of them are good. Like Fireflies, I was honestly really, really deeply depressed at the time I was writing the song, and I couldn't get out of the bed. I was just like not even out of the apartment. I was just like locked inside in the house and also inside my head. So it was kind of dark moment, but I'm happy now singing the song on stage, and it's all history now, so it feels good. But it's like a reminder to like should enjoy the moments when you feel good and when you don't have any troubles and problems. It's just like life is too short.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of some positivity on this album, like "Live and Never Die" song, but also a lot of dark moments. And on "Live and Never Die," Rise and Jezebel, you worked with Desmond Child, right?
Yes.
And you worked with him with the album Black Roses.
Yes.
Um, you know, that's a really famous producer and songwriter who worked with such a big names as Bon Jovi, as Kiss, Aerosmith, Alice Cooper, and a lot more. Um, how cooperation like this look like? Is he really that good in what he's doing?
Yeah, he's good. Um, I have to say, like when I was younger, I was listening to all those bands you just mentioned, and I didn't know that he was the one of the songwriters behind the music. You know, songs like Poison for Alice Cooper. It
Yeah.
was like when I was 10 years old, it was like a massive song for me, and I really loved it. I still do. And so I kind of learned from Desmond already back then without knowing him, uh, the tricks of songwriting. And then when I wrote In the Shadows, it reached him in the US. He heard the song and then he was like, "Oh, I love this band and I have to work with them." So he contacted me. And so it's like a full circle kind of like maybe he heard himself in my music, I don't know, but somehow it's a beautiful story that his music found me first and then mine found him. And that's how we got together about 15 years ago. And now again recently writing these songs, and I'm actually gonna see him in December writing more songs. I'm gonna go to his house in Nashville, and we've become very good friends too. It's not only like songwriting. I think it is such kind of a private thing you share with someone when you write a song about your deep feelings or whatever. It's like I consider him much more than a friend, and I'm happy that I get always live at his house and like be part of his family and dinner table later at after the day in studio. And it's great because I learned from him while we're writing the songs, but also the other moments, when he's telling his stories over the dinner table, or when he's whatever doing something else, and I get to watch and learn from the best. And I'm really honored to work with him because he's a legend.
Yeah, great. You know, we usually don't know these people who are, backstage on writing the songs, but they're also the the most important ones. But, I think he can write hit songs. You too can write number ones. So maybe there's something that, works out when you work together. And I think now it's gonna be interesting because let's pretend we're in the future, like I don't know, 100 years from now. And what would be which the Rasmus song would you like to survive, to show the people in the future, to show in the best way the Rasmus, what the Rasmus has been like your sound, the Rasmus sound, the Rasmus sensitivity, one song of all your discography, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be boring and say In the Shadows, but that is that song is still kind of fresh and having a new life again, while Kalush Orchestra just made a new
Yeah,
version of that song almost after 20 years of the release. So it's I think that song is the one that will always be remembered by. And who knows what the future brings, you know? And right now we feel like our plan is to release much more music, like be more active on that side, because we've taken these breaks of 5 years, and like it just feels like that is the most fun part, just write more songs and just put it out. The world has changed a little bit, like it's more focused on singles anyway and all that kind of stuff. So I think we'll be hearing a lot of Rasmus in the future.
You got some songs, written already for the next record?
Yes.
Great. So it's gonna be, I think it might be out sooner than, let's say, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, let's hope so. I just don't want to promise anything. Every time I promise something, it goes wrong.
Yeah, so don't do that. At the beginning of this century, years 2003, 2005, the Rasmus and him were probably the biggest bands in Finland, and and such a big names in the Europe too. And I'm curious if there was something like competition in a good way between the Rasmus and him, or you were just friends with Ville Vala and his band.
Yeah, there was always competition. Uh, and I think it was great because it was like a lot of the times, especially beginning, like we were the little brother and him were the big brother. And we had this like underdog position trying to beat them. And that was great because, if we played before them on stage, we did absolutely everything we can to make it difficult for them to go on stage, like play so fucking hard and so well. So we actually made us better. And I think that kind of healthy competition is really good. And also I enjoy that, if I have some friends who are writing great songs like Ville, he drops a great single. I'm like, fuck, that's a great song. I want to write a song now, like it gets me going. And that is the best thing. Like, I think those kind of things are good. And then we done songs together too, with Ville and Apocalyptica. And that is been very inspiring collaborations.
You've heard the new stuff from him, because him is not existing now, but he's making music as Vivi, and I think I'm curious, how do you like it? Have you heard it?
Yeah, I have heard some of the songs, and I think he's doing great. It's very kind of like him. I mean, it sounds very familiar to me, and I think on the live shows he's gonna play him songs too. So but anyway, he is the band, kind of, to me. So I don't mind. I wish all the best for him.
So was there a time that you, because you said you played before him, was there a time that you supported them on tour or something?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I meant. We played our first European shows supporting him long time ago. Um, before In the Shadows came out.
Yeah, so it was
And
like 2001 or something.
yeah, just 2002, I think, something like that. Anyway, it was a great chance for us to play to a pretty nice crowd, and I think the match was pretty good too. So we made a lot of fans every night, and it was fun, like going after our show into the audience and meet people. And most of them, they didn't know anything about us, and they were just like, oh my god, I don't know who you are, but can I take a picture with you? And it was like was a good like a buzz, good vibe.
Yeah. Let's talk about maybe Eurovision now a little bit, because after all these years of being a band, I think it was like 28 years mm, since you've started a career. Uh, how did it feel? Was that something refreshing? Have you been stressed a little bit maybe because playing for the millions of people actually?
That was a fun thing to do. We really enjoyed it. I didn't know what to expect, honestly. I mean, I sort of just like jumped on that train and wanted to see what happens. I think we were pretty desperate to get something going after COVID anyway, and we didn't know at that time if it's possible to do the tour. Like it was a bit uncertain. So this was a chance to play at least and do something with a new guitarist. With Empu, we all of a sudden had this mission together to do something like this, and that really was a great bond between us. And it was a thing that happened at the right time again, and this was fun too. I think meeting all European artists from different countries being together in the same space, it felt also meaningful because of the war and everything that's happening at the same time. Europe was standing united there and making music, and it was really emotional sometimes too. Talking to Kalush orchestra guys and talking to anyone, everybody was like a little bit, tears in their eyes, like because of the situation in Ukraine. And it's scary, but I think music can help and give people good vibes in the middle of crisis, and it is very important too.
Let's talk now a little bit about rock scene in Finland, because it's pretty great subject, I think. Like the Rasmus, him, Nightwish, Lordi, Blind Channel, Apocalyptica, and I'm curious if rock and metal. There's a lot of people in Finland, I think, who listens to the classics like Metallica and stuff. Is rock and metal in Finland number one genre or not anymore? Because I think rock and metal music is still much, much more popular than, let's say, in Poland.
Yeah, well, I don't really know about the sales, but it just feels like Finnish people, there's still this kind of a reputation that Finnish people are rockers and they dress in black and they are a little bit like introvert and they don't say much and they're like they're like that. But honestly, I think there's a new generation with all kinds of new things that I don't really understand about anymore. It's just good that people recreate art, and these things come in waves. It's been about 20 years since rock music was played on radios, in the mainstream radios, and that seems like it's maybe a little bit coming back. Like bands like My Chemical Romance or Blink 182, and these bands are returning to the scene after about 20 years, and it's a good sign for me. I'm really enjoying this, and I'm hoping that young kids too, they get influenced by this music and start writing songs and start playing guitars and drums, and so I'm not worried. I think all this is like natural, and things will come and go. It's just different ways of expressing the feelings of the young, you know, like hip hop has been a long time like number one thing all over the world, and that's great too. You know, it's a way to express your feelings, and sometimes even the hip hop guys, they are more like rock stars than the rock stars themselves. You know, they are like angry and, you know, doing all bad stuff and like being dangerous, and that's cool. You know, world is changing.
So for the end, let's do some quick picks. Top 3 the Rasmus albums ever.
Okay, let's say Dead Letters, Black Roses, and Rise. Gotta say the last one.
Yeah. Top 3 the Rasmus songs.
Funeral Song, Living in the World Without You, fuck, Fireflies.
All right. Your favorite band ever? Could be one, could be a few, because I know it's hard for me to choose one.
There's band. It's hard, but there's a band I've liked all my life, pretty much. Is Weezer. Weezer is a great. There's something about the melodies that move me. I will like. I also like Muse very much. I think both bands have influenced me as a songwriter.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you, for the end, invite our followers to watch the video on YouTube? I think we'll put it on Instagram.
Okay, what should I say?
I don't know, that you invite Polish people to watch this on Pełna Kulturka channel on YouTube. Can you spell
What?
Pełna Kulturka?
Let me see if I have it written somewhere. Pełna Kulturka. Pełna Kulturka.
Yeah,
Kulturka.
yeah, that's
Okay.
great.
All right. Hi guys, all the Polish fans. This is Lauri from the Rasmus. Check out this interview from Pełna Kulturka.
Great. That was great to talk with you. I love the Rasmus songs, all the stuff.
Thank you.
Really interesting interview. Thank you so much. All the best. The rest of the tour, tonight's show. All the best.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you in Poland. All right. Bye.